Hello, peace and welcome to Upcycled Underground, where I've been extremely busy, hence the break in new videos. But in the last 2 weeks I've actually managed to organize a pop-up store in our workshop and a music and art event where people actually created all sorts of things, including, let's say, this beautiful t-shirt that was made by Happy, a tattoo artist. That's a freestyle. So I've provided the materials, she provided the cool painting of the t-shirt. So that's one of the things that actually was created during the pop-up. I'm really happy with this one. With Green Simon, we've also made the Broccoli Man. This is just like I don't know, a test run, let's say, or an idea, a concept. We're gonna actually make a few of Broccoli Man's adventures on various clothing items, so it's gonna be really awesome. Stay tuned for this one. As you can see behind me or around me, there's a lot of colorful stuff. Some of those were collaborations, some of those were works commissioned by our clients, some of them were just my general imagination and invention, including my hoodie, my long sleeve hoodie. So let me show you what I've done. The first thing is this Peppa Pig patch. Peppa was actually smiling here and holding a flower, but we all know that her hang-up scene where she finds out that she can't whistle where everybody can, prompted us to actually create this. So what I had to do is make this phone. I've made it out of blue jeans that I've painted and some buttons. And on top of this, I've added the hand here. You know, I had to like cut it out and press it onto here. I've also made this on Happy Face using the background that was already there. So that's the patch. The patch is actually going on a hoodie. So what's going to happen with this, you'll see quite shortly. I'm actually really happy with it because it's a completely different kind of a job than I usually do. So that was a nice break from the big, complicated pieces. As you can see, sometimes it's enough to cut out some holes and just stitch on a face or a facial expression, right? What I did here was basically put some paper on top of Pepper, and I've used the pencil to trace the shape. When I did that, I've cut out the new material, I've cut out the holes, made sure that it all fits in well. I've hand stitched around the eyes here and around the cheek. Then I stitched on by hand everything around the face. And then I used Yuki the Monster to actually run it over with the machine, right? So it's like 2.5D. The face is quite puffy. I'm really happy with this piece for very many reasons, but mainly it's because it's quite small. The smaller the pieces and the patches, the harder it is to actually make them. So, you know, really fun to make this stuff. That's going to my friend Scrambled, whose sister is actually my dog's groomer. They're both dog groomers, but my dog actually gets terrified and tortured by the older of the sisters. So that's my Pepper work. Really cool stuff. What else did I make? This was also a commission. Is those dungarees with a cat theme. So they were quite damaged because of the buttons. They're not stainless steel, so the blue actually died from all the, you know, rust and other things that were going on here. So I decided to bleach them first and then dye them. I've dyed them pink because they're quite small and cute. So I thought they might be for a small lady or maybe for a older kid, right? So yeah, I've got this client. Her name is Tosha. She's one of the smaller, younger clients. Maybe not smaller, but younger, if you know what I mean. She's in primary school, and she loves my work, and she wanted a cat-themed thing. So we've got here at the front a patch that I've made out of kids' clothing with a cat. Yeah. So we've got the kitty here, and I've also added this handmade patch of a cat paw on the back. I don't want to go overboard because it's quite patchy and a lot of it is already going on, so I've added this. Also, I got a few stains from the rust here, so I've added a little butterfly patch that I found somewhere in all the boxes that I've got with various attachments and things that can be used for customs. So we've got the dungarees. I'm actually quite happy with this because, again, it was a different kind of a job. Also, we've got this pocket here, so it was a bit tricky to actually, finish it off over here. But if you look closely, I've tried to keep the stitch to minimum, but it's hand stitched, like this part here, so we can use the pocket not to lose any functionality of it. It's very important for me actually when I make or remake things or redesign them to keep the function of the clothing. Like it's much easier to actually, close the pocket, for example, or cut something off, or whatever, right, than to actually try and fix it. I try to actually keep everything intact and all of the functionality of the clothing intact. The point is for clothing not only to look good on it, but also to be able to hide things in the pockets or whatever, I don't have to explain that one to you, right? So we've got those. Also, I've got a new collaboration with a really, really, really cool artist whose workshop is just 2 floors above me. So we've met a few times during dumpster diving and other cool and interesting activities that go on here at Brzeska. There are actually quite a few rooms with various artists around here, so people create all sorts of things. What Yakuza does is actually, he's a painter. He's a painter and he does art which is, well, one of a kind. I love this kind of art. I am a huge fan of street art and stencils and, mixing various mediums and colors and stuff. So when we've met, we've decided that we want to collaborate and actually make clothing that includes his paintings and my ideas. So what happened was I gave him a few sheets of blank fabrics that he'd painted. He painted those. I'm also waiting for another piece, but I gave him the worst color to work with, apparently, which is green. He's not a big fan of green. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with the dude. I love green, but that's actually where the collaborations become fun. You can actually work with things that people like or don't like. And come up with incredibly original ideas. So the first original piece that I've created in the collaboration are these pantaloons. We call them pantaloons because they're half skirt and half shorts. Very popular thing right now as the 90s came back. I love these kinds of skirty shorts or kilt kind of shorts, because at the front they look like a normal skirt, but they're actually shorts. Thanks to it, you can be comfortable anywhere, at a festival, at a gig, hanging out with your friends, wherever you are. As a woman, you can sit down or bend over and, just hide the strategic areas, right? So what happened here? First of all, it was blue, so I dyed it like a blackish kind of a color or graphite. So we've got this graphite color here. And I worked with this along. So what happened was, first I actually selected a piece of a fabric painted by Yakuza. In this case it's the skull. The skull is really, really colorful, to make sure that it's not like, popping out right in the middle here. In the strategic place, if you take a closer look, you can see I've gone around the star and this little arrow, which actually allowed me to keep it in place without it getting bulky here or like, you know, popping out weirdly like it's got an alien coming out of its face, right? So we've got this skull. I've also added this little star that I've cut out from the same piece of material. So we've got this star. Here, characteristic for me, smiley faces. I love both the rave culture and Nightmare Before Christmas. This one is a combination of the two. And as a part of my ongoing collaborations with various artists, not only like visual artists, here at the back we've got the message. The message of Kiss My Art. Kiss My Art was my original idea for collaborations with various artists. It came from my love for street art and wanting to move some of the incredible things that I see around me onto clothing. They're actually a part of the fabric of the city where I'm from, which is Warsaw, Poland. So I try to work with either artists that are based here in Warsaw or people who visit Warsaw and they actually enjoy street art or they are street artists themselves. So I will be having an international collab as well. There is a guy who paints and plays drums and does all sorts of incredible things. He's also painting some clothing for me. So these pantaloons, they're also available for sale. As you can see, we've got some really, really cool applications. All of them were made out of clothing that's not good for actually using anymore, right? So we've got those. If you like this idea, let me know in the comments. If you don't like it, more so, please be not so kind but honest and let me know what's wrong with it. You know, I love feedback. It's really difficult to work without it. Sorry, my face is itchy because I've been dyeing clothing today and there were a lot of fumes from the bleach as well. Alright, so going back to Kiss My Art and the collab with Yakuza, we've got another piece made from the fabrics that he painted. So let me show you the back first. The back is, well, it's incredible, I love it. I found this in the middle of the fabric, so it took me a while to find a way not to cut it all up completely to get down to it. So all the extra bits that you can see here were actually from the edges of this to make sure that I don't waste any material. And I've managed to do that, so it's a zero waste jacket coming from an old Danish, I think, military shirt. Here we've got this caution sign, lots of color, lots of stencils, various signs here as well. So it looks like street art to me. Here I've added little accents on the shoulder thingies. I don't know what they're called in English. If you tell me what this part is called, I'd appreciate it, because I've tried to find it on Google and in dictionaries, but I can't find like a, you know, specific tailoring word for this. So if there are any tailors watching me, please help me with my English, help me educate myself and others, and let me know what this part is called. This one that you actually add stars onto or whatever, like this bit. This one. Have no clue. So yeah, we've got this shirt. They're actually new. They haven't been used, but they were given away to a military surplus. On top of that, I've added extra bits from the sides, like I said. So here I've got this kind of V kind of a symbol. I love V for Vendetta. That's what it actually reminded me of. So I used this one and a couple of stars. Kind of made me think of Rage Against the Machine. Don't know why. And here on the other side, to make sure that the collab is complete, we've got some extra stars here, and we've got a nice message: Kiss My Art Industry. as art became industry, and we've had various discussions about it, this is my message on this jacket, right? So, yeah, I'll happily make more of those, or similar ones, maybe in collabs with Yakuza, maybe with somebody else. Right, let me move this over, because now we're getting through to the key point of the show, which is, ta-da! The Frankenjacket. The Frankenjacket was an idea of SLX 2000. It came from a comment. So we had a comment on YouTube, make something with Frankenstein. So here's the general view of it. As you can see, we've got the Frankenstein here, we've got plenty of thunders and lightnings and stuff over here. I'm really happy with it. It wasn't easy to make. The base is actually really good because it's Samos and Samos. So it's a really good winter parka. That's my sign. So if you find anything with this tag, it means that it's my work, right? So what we did here was we've added a bleached sign on one side of the hood, humankind sinned against me. On the other side, I've added all those lightnings and cut them to shape to give it this irregular kind of a shape, but also to give the layers some space to work. As you can see, all the main seams were stitched. The stitches are uneven on purpose, right? Here at the front, we've got a fully functional pocket. You can put your hands in here and also into this pocket here, right? We've got the traditional Y-cut here. The Y-cut, basically, well, that's an autopsy kind of a cut. That's what people in morgues do and prosecutoriums to actually open people and check what went on inside, let's say, during autopsy. So we've got this. I've also got a pin saying love hurt somewhere. I can't find it, but when I do, it's going to go over here. At the back, as you can see, you've got a bit of a patchwork and various techniques. So what happened here was all the seams here and all those little bits, they were bleached first. Then we've added the stitches. You can see the stitches on the elbows as well. On top of that, I've added again the pink lightnings for them to actually work really nicely with this dark print from a cut-out t-shirt. So that was a cut-out t-shirt with Frankenstein. I've also made holes in the eyes so we can see those lightnings and layers underneath, right? So I'm really happy with this parka. It took me a week and a half maybe, but I've also had other projects going on, as you can see. So we've got the Frankenjacket. Thanks, Mr. SLX 2000. I'm waiting for more ideas coming from our YouTube community. It's not big, but I'm quite sure we're going to get much bigger once I post more often. I'm not posting regularly or very often for two reasons. First of all, I don't understand how YouTube algorithm works. I don't really fully understand all the gurus talking on YouTube about how to run it. So if you've got any ideas how I should present myself, feel free to let me know. What I'm going to do now is actually go back to work. I've got obviously more things coming up shortly. And again, as we've had a Labubu request, and that's going on as we speak, we've got this little crop top, khaki crop top. I'm waiting for ideas from you guys. What should I do with this? Right? So something different. It should be much quicker than the Frankenjacket. I will be available at various fairs around Warsaw. You can place your orders for works like this or your own original pieces via a social media. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. Our website is being rebuilt as we speak, so it will be relaunched soon with an online store as well. And I'm planning to open an eBay shop as well for people to be able to find me in other ways. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave me messages if you've got any ideas what should I do next. Like and subscribe if you like what you see, and see you around. Peace.